You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
All good things must come to an end, and Memphis' win streak is cut short at 4 after a loss to Houston. We'll recap the game against the Cougars, sit down with some players to find out why they play the game, and look ahead to a road trip against East Carolina. It's the Ryan Silverfield Show. Let's go.
The game is on.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
Now we know why Houston was picked in the preseason to win the American. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Jarvis Greer. For the highlights, here they come.
Houston headed for the Big 12 next year. This the final conference showdown for two teams that have been in the same league since 1996. The Tigers' first drive was surgical. 14 plays, 78 yards. And the goal line monster, Brandon Thomas, finishes it off with lucky touchdown number 7 on the year, 7-0 home team. The first quarter was all Memphis. Final play of the frame, Seth Hennigan extending the play long enough to find Caden Prieskorn. Rumble, young man, rumble. 25-yard score for the tight end, number 6 for him on the year, 14-0 game. Want to talk about keeping cool under pressure? First play of the fourth quarter now. Hennigan to Gabe Rogers, the wide receiver, keeps his eyes downfield and then delivers an absolute dime to Asa Martin for the 41-yard score. Incredible play design and execution. Tigers up 26-7 and looking good. Unfortunately, things unraveled for Memphis late. With 1:17 to play, Clayton Tune delivers a 13-yard score to Keyshawn Carter. Houston makes it a 32-26 game. Memphis still in good shape if they can recover the onside kick. But Houston executes it beautifully. They fall on it and now have a chance to win the game. They march inside the Memphis 2, and Tune finds Carter once again for the short touchdown. Houston takes a 33-32 lead with 18 seconds left. Not enough time for Memphis to respond, and the Tigers lose a tough one in the final stages. Let's get some reaction.
The young men in our locker room believe, they battle, they care. Our hopes, goals, and dreams are not lost. We will continue to fight and continue to improve and find ways to execute at a higher level. I've got great faith in this group, and I know that we're capable. I've got to be better. We all got to be better. And these young men will continue to believe and push and be all in with the direction we want to take this thing one game at a time. As soon as we're able to learn from this one and move forward, we're ready for another conference game versus East Carolina.
And obviously our boys were disappointed just because we all felt like we played a pretty good game, but we didn't finish well enough in all phases, offense, defense, special teams. So, everyone was just pretty down. But he said after the game, he was like, our whole season's in front of us. All of our goals are still attainable. But obviously, in the moment, this one still is staying in all of us.
College sports is constantly changing. It's almost an evolutionary process. Some of that goes hand in hand with technology. Now we have virtual reality glasses that you can just, go crazy with. Coach, when you first started coaching all these years ago, what was your technology?
Yeah, 24 years ago, getting into this profession, we'd just gotten out of the 16 millimeter film and the beta film and the 8-track stuff and then into VHS. And that was always the old way. Hey, you'd squinch and look and try to hit record button on a VHS tape and maybe try to tape something off of a television and, the old TVs with the VHRs and setting the recording and trying to make cut-ups, the pause and all that stuff. So back in the day, all VHS, I don't think our young guys would know what the VHS tapes are, even though it doesn't seem that long ago. And as you said, it continues to progress, right? Whatever we're using today, 5 years from now will be outdated.
Now you've got things like where at practice, I've seen the quarterbacks and some of the other players have like cameras on their helmets. And it used to be the head coach was up in the tower, not even in the tower anymore, but you got like cameras everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, right? The biggest thing is the coaches want to be able to see everything, but it also is an advantage for the players to go back, just especially in practice, and be able to see it from every different angle. So on a given play, we have up to 5 different cameras filming that one play. You get an end zone view from one view, an end zone view from the other, a tight shot, a ground camera, a sideline camera from this side, a sideline camera from that side. Now all of a sudden, if I'm a young man and coach says, well, hey, it looked like you stepped with the wrong foot. Well, no, you didn't. They can go back and watch, and it's usually zoomed in. And what it does is allow you to see the habits you're doing, good or bad, in order to be able to correct them. And so that type of technology out on the practice field has been huge for us.
The other amazing thing to me, and it's kudos to your video guys, is you take all those angles you're talking about and zooming in and splicing them together to your needs, and they do it so quickly.
Yeah, our video department's been fantastic. I think that's one of those things. We hang our hat on them. They're in the back. They don't get the recognition they deserve, but they've done a fantastic job, even right after games, right? They're splicing the film up. Hey, this play with this play, this play with this play. Now, hey, here's the offensive bunch of plays, right? Then they do the same with special teams and the defense. And by the way, they also send it out to our players. So every single one of our players on scholarship gets an iPad. And on that iPad, they're able to go through and say, okay, hey, I want to watch, let's go through here. I want to see this. I want to go to Houston's third down blitz plays from the left hash. I want to be able to see it in the third quarter with number 44 at the end. Boom, click that button. Next thing you know, it shows up on their iPad in their dorm. So those are some of the advantages.
There's another thing that has popped up here recently is analytics, where you're not just talking about yards or how tall a player is or that kind of thing. It's a whole bunch more that goes into it.
Yeah, so we've seen it, and you've heard it. Anybody that's watched a football broadcast, even ours on ESPN, they always talk about the book. And so we use an analytics software company, Championship Analytics, and a lot of college teams throughout. I'd say about 80%, in fact, 80% of the NFL teams are using it. Most of Division I college football teams are using it. What it does is it kind of says, okay, hey, the book says you should go for it here. And so I get asked all the time in the press conference, hey, on that 4th and 1, why'd you think about going for it? Now, a lot of it's got to be up here and here, right? The gut feel, what's the game looking like? But then the analytics, if they said, hey, you've got an 80% chance of going for it on a 4th and 1 on your own 36-yard line in the second quarter, well, I kind of like those chances. You got to see how the game's going. But the analytics have been played in. They look at everything that's occurred from the team that you're playing to what it looks like, what the weather may be, what your short yards look like. And so you take those into play and see how it can compute to the field. Now, sometimes the book says, hey, you got to go for it. No, punt. So you got to take it for what it's worth. But I think you've got to use every advantage, everything that's out there that they can help you win a football game.
Zay Collins is one of the engines of this defense. Let's get an inside look with the senior linebacker.
Nice. Hey, good. Hey, good. He said wide, it don't matter. Hey,
ooh, that's right. Man, Drew, you look good in white, my boy. Huh? You look good in that white.
Here we go.
Hey, brother, call! Hey, I seen it. Ned, that's Ned.
Zay, I think we got the best water in the country. What you see?
The best water?
Best water.
They say it's the cleanest, too.
Woo. Hey, that's good.
Every player on this team is driven by something different. And coming up next, we'll sit down with a few of them to find out who's their why.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Welcome back to The Ryan Silverfield Show. Every player in this program obviously loves football, but every single one of them also plays the game for more than themselves. Let's find out their why.
My why is really to play this game is just to be able to be known as one of the best because my grandma had passed earlier this year. I changed my number because she was born May 4th, so just keeping her with me, it's just always knowing that she's right there beside me and that's gonna keep me going every day. And just knowing how she carried herself and how she did everything and not feeling no negativity about anything, staying positive and staying focused on things that's important to her and important to the people that's around her. That's my reason why I just play the game the way I play it. Everything happened for a reason. That's another thing that she always taught me. Always, just push yourself to the best of your ability because nobody can take that away from you when you do it your best. I'm a big family guy. I'm big on just being there for my family because they always been there, my support system from when I was little all the way up to now, and even so furthermore on from now, it's big to keep them close.
There's a lot of whys I have to play this game, but the people I decided to put in the back of my locker are my parents. I mean, they've always been there for me since day one, obviously. They've always pushed me. They've been my best friends my whole life, and especially when it comes to football. I mean, I remember since I was a little kid watching Saturday football games all day with my parents and always dreaming about playing college football. So now that I'm here, seeing them back in my locker reminded me of where I started, it's always my why. I mean, both of them working full time, both of them, working hard, and always making time to at least one of them be at my games, if not both of them, always taking me to and from practice. And I mean, we grew up out in Oakland, and then, I'd had to play practice in Memphis or wherever I might be, and having to drive all that way, taking all the time and money and effort it took to get me there, but they always made sure I was there. My family's here, all my friends are here, and I just want to put on for the city and show, what the city's all about and represent it the right way every day.
My why for football is my family and those who looks up to me. I mean, they give me motivation every day, especially the youth. A lot of guys, especially from my town, look up to me and they motivate me to give them a chance as well, by just to give God gave me. I never see myself being here and doing these things, but I mean, it was all part of God's plan. So just keeping this chip on my shoulder, actually, and just show everybody that, especially being in Memphis, that you can do it. It don't matter where you come from, where you go, and end up that you can do it. Perseverance, that's the word. Going through many trials and tribulations and being able to stand on top and keep fighting and keep fighting. I think the biggest person that I can lean on in my corner is God. So just show everybody, show the youth that it's a chance, you can do it. It's been times where, having to find ways to go to school and find ways to go to practice. I remember just being in middle school, I used to ride my bike every day to practice. Mom may be working, dad may be working. I know I had a bike in the back, so I grab my bike and ride it all the way to practice, like every day. My mom is in my locker, and I mean, from youth, I mean, I know I didn't put her through a lot. She's been there every step of the way, so just want to, do what I do and give it all back to her, and also, my dad and my sisters as well.
My why is my little brother and my little sister, because since I'm the first person in my household to go to college, I just want to pave the way for them, just show them, you don't want to stay home, go to college, experience something new, just stuff like that. I just want to show them to never give up. Whatever you do, finish it. Me, personally, I just want to leave that I was never a quitter, always just finish, just work hard, no matter what. It means a lot, It's been a big dream of mine to play on a D1 level, big stage, It's been any kid's dream, but yeah, it means a lot to me. So I got my mom and my stepdad, and I got them in my locker because, they did so much for me. They sacrificed so much for me, taking me to camps, buying me this and that, and, I just want to give back to them.
My why is my family. I got one person in the back of my locker that means a lot to me. It's my little cousin Miles, but my family for the most part is my why. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. They protected me out the way, looked over me, did everything a family's supposed to do. They say it take a village to raise a child. They was my village. I have a lot of family members, but we close-knit, and it's them. My cousin Miles is in the back of my locker because he was one of the first family members that's in my immediate family that I had lost at a young age. Opened my eyes to a lot, showed me how short life is. And he was one of my biggest fans. I was just getting into really playing football for real around that time. I was in high school, second year in the high school when he had passed, and a lot of things was taken off of me, and he got to miss those things, and it was just tragic event that happened. Just to be a player from the city of Harlem, New York, it came and changed. It made a change, made a difference. And like I said, I'm not from around here. I'm the only person on this team that's from the city. So I just want to make my mark, show them that what the city could do in New York, and we got some athletes out there.
Coaches love to talk about family, and I think you take it to the next level with your players. Who is my why, which is usually a somebody that you think about all the time?
Yeah, one of the things we've done since we've gotten here at Memphis is we talk to our other guys about their why. And generally, if it's a person, we say, okay, let's put that person or those people, a picture of them in the back of your locker. We do that for two reasons. One, it's motivation, it's inspiration, and it's discipline to do what you're supposed to do. So when I come in for a morning practice, I look in the back of my locker, that's my why. It may be my aunt, maybe my grandmother, it may be my brother, and those are the people why I'm doing it. So I go out and I know I'm gonna have a good practice because I'm doing it for those people that sacrificed to get me here. Now, same deal, practice is over, long, hard morning, got my meal. I gotta head to school. I gotta handle my academics. I told my mom I'm gonna graduate. I look in the back of the locker, I see her on the back of the locker, my why. I know I'm going to handle my business academically.
It would also help the coaches and the players get to understand each other better.
No question. So with that being in the back of their locker, it allows their locker mate, their teammate, to say, hey, who is that person? They get a better understanding of team and who those people are that motivate them or that sacrifice for them. No different on game day mornings. Actually, in our pregame meal, we have our guys stand up and say, share with us who's in the back of your locker and why. Why do you play the game and why do you love it? And I think that's so important because we're all motivated by different things. Some of our guys are motivated to go to the NFL. Some are motivated by money. Some are motivated by fame. But they all have somebody that has sacrificed to get them to the spot that we are. Every single one of us in society is. And so whatever that is, if they can look back there and see it, or they can think about that person before they go take the field, it's going to have a huge difference.
All right, Coach, I know your mom and dad. I know your wife. Who is your why?
I've been so fortunate. My family's been so supportive, obviously, to be able to get me into this situation. But the reason why I do it every day is for the 115 guys in the locker room. I'm so fortunate to be the head coach here. And every day when I get motivated, there's some long hours, right? You may work a 20-hour workday. You got to wake up, come back in. We owe it to those guys. I owe it to them. So my why is the entire team. We got a great organization of people that poured their heart and soul into this. We owe it to the people that came before us, all those coaches, all those players, and how much this university means to the city, these people. So that's my why.
After 4 straight home games, it's back on the road to Pirate Country for Memphis. We'll preview East Carolina. That's coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
To Greenville we go, and now it's a 7:30 game their time. They're drawing all kinds of fans this year, Coach.
Yeah, the East Carolina Pirates, they've got a great fan base there in Greenville. College town, they've done a tremendous job this year. That program is really one on the rise. Another conference game. It's going to be a tough deal. A night game there. I'm sure it'll be a sellout, but we're excited about the opportunity ahead.
They got one of the tougher quarterbacks, too, in the league that you have to deal with in Holton Naylor.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy with a strong arm that's played a lot of good football in this conference. And so we know they're a tough-nosed team. They're well-coached. They blitz the heck out of you as a defense. They got the best of us. We're looking forward for the challenge to get up to Greenville.
You have been successful thus far on the road, so here you go.
Yeah, that's the next thing, right? Next step, a conference game on the road. Those are really where you get to see what you're made of. As you start to get later into October, right, rolling into November, you have a better understanding what we're really made of. Tough road opponent, excited to get there and go.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
We can go all the way back to the 90s, and Steve Logan, Greenville, North Carolina is always one of the toughest places to play in the entire conference. We'll put a bow on this one in just a minute.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Boy, time goes by quickly. We're already halfway through this season. We'll see you again late night next Sunday.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. Next time you need a car battery, just pick it up. Visit AutoZone.com and select same-day store pickup. Just one reason why AutoZone is America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.